On a beautiful Memorial Day Monday in Los Angeles, it's time for Braves baseball. This afternoon, the Braves begin a long three-city West Coast road trip, and we get our first look at the Los Angeles Dodgers. We all salute the red, white, and blue, and the men and women in uniform as we play Major League Baseball here at beautiful Dodger Stadium. Hi again, friends. Along with Joe Simpson, I'm Chip Carey. Welcome to the ballpark where the Braves head west with a lot of momentum. They had a terrific road trip. 4-2 against Tampa Bay and the Milwaukee Brewers. And, Joe, it's no secret why the Braves pitching is back on the beam.
It sure is, Chip. And while they had a little dip there in early May, it has really come back strong. And in my opinion, due largely to the good work in the bullpen. But take a look at this. Through the first couple of weeks of the season, good work, a 1.86 ERA. Then it's no coincidence that 9-18 record had a lot to do, was dictated by that 5 ERA. But now all of a sudden the pitching's doing a good job. The bullpen has been outstanding, and the Braves are getting some timely hitting as they did before.
And, Joe, I think what's exciting about the pitching is how young the Braves starting pitching is. An average age in rotation under 24 years old, and Williams Perez next in line tonight.
Yeah, he gets his second start tonight. He pitched great against Tampa Bay, but got a no decision. He worked his 5 solid innings that the Braves were looking for. You can see a good mixture of pitches, and what we saw the most as you look at that line from that game, including 7 strikeouts, was some emotion. This guy's got a little hot blood running through his veins, so hopefully he can carry that into this start tonight.
Well, he's going to need it. The Dodgers hit a lot of home runs. They're not scoring a lot of runs right now, and that's a trend the Braves hope continues in Game 1 here at Chavez Ravine. It's the Braves, the Dodgers. Lineups and first pitch are coming up after the break.
It's a beautiful day to honor our troops and a beautiful day for the Braves to kick off a 10-game road trip out west, facing the top 3 teams in the NL West. Whether it's the 3-hour time change, the climate change, or facing some of the best pitchers in the league, the Braves are surely aware of the challenge, but they like the way they were playing, and they are confident that they can keep it going, and they're looking forward to the challenge out west.
Especially some of these parks we're playing in where these teams play really good at home. The challenge is going to definitely be there to try to get our pitchers some run support. Give them a chance to keep them keep us in the game. So luckily we finished the homestand really well, and I think we've got some confidence going into this road trip, and it's going to be a tough road trip, but an exciting road trip for sure.
Freddie Gonzalez called this maybe a refresher or a recharger being out west. A perfect 70-degree day, a great climate to embrace and take advantage of. And we've got a lot more coming up as we honor our troops, lineups, and first pitch after the break as everybody is on their feet to celebrate Memorial Day here at Dodger Stadium. More after the break.
Old Glory flying proudly here in Southern California. Another big crowd here at Dodger Stadium as the Braves and Dodgers meet for the first time here in 2015. The Braves and their skipper Freddie Gonzalez come west with a bit of momentum. They won 4 of 6 on their just completed homestand. And here's how the Braves line up the Academy Sports and Outdoor starting 9. Peterson, Maben, Freeman, Markakis, Gomes, Simmons, Siriaco, a late change to the lineup. Alberto Callaspo was originally in the starting 9. We don't have a reason for that change. As soon as we get it, we'll pass it along. And finally, Joe, the Braves get to face a left-handed starting pitcher.
Yeah, the Braves have only faced 4 all year long. Brett Anderson's 27 years old, 6'3", 240 out of Oklahoma State University. 2-2 with a 3.61 ERA on the year. Got off to a rough start, but in May he's been outstanding. A 1.99 ERA, just 5 walks and 20 strikeouts in 4 starts.
And his first pitch of the day is in for a called strike. Mike Estabrook has the plate. Both the Braves and Dodgers wearing their Memorial Day uniforms. Ground ball up the middle. Kendrick, long throw, and just in time to get Peterson at first. Jace nearly beat the rap at first base, and Freddie Gonzalez to the top step. Might want to check on this one.
I thought Terry Pendleton may have motioned to Freddie that it was worth a look. He's out. So no appeal.
So ground ball out from Brett Anderson. Gets the day started for the Dodgers. Cameron Maben, the batter. Maben's riding high, a 9-game hitting streak. Having a super May.
Ground ball. Sorry, Chip. The ground ball out by Anderson. a good sign for him. He is a ground ball pitcher. Sinker, slider, changeup. Doesn't give up many homers. Has better numbers against right-handers than lefties because he can't use his changeup as much to left-handers.
Maven Skies one on a play foul into the big crowd in Los Angeles. And the count remains 0-2. Eleven hits over the last 9 games for Cameron. And a broken bat shot out to Jimmy Rollins at short. That's right, Jimmy Rollins, a former Philly, is now the Dodgers shortstop. And 2 ground ball outs. Retires the first 2 Atlanta hitters. Here's Freddie Freeman. Beautiful day for baseball. 68 degrees. Dramatically different weather in Los Angeles than last July when the Braves were here and got swept. It was hot. It was muggy. And it was not a fun 3-day voyage to Dodger Stadium. Braves lost 8-4, 3-2, and 2-1. In fact, the Dodgers beat the Braves 6 out of 7 times last year. So Atlanta owes them some payback.
I honestly didn't believe that when I read it. I had to go back and look at the game by game to confirm the 6 out of 7.
Fly ball foul by Freeman. A ball and 2 strikes.
Brett Anderson's last start, he got shut out in San Francisco. He went into the 7th inning and gave up 3 runs, walked 3, struck out 7, but one of the 3 shutouts in San Francisco.
Freeman goes the other way beautifully with a 2-strike count. And an opposite field hit for the Braves first baseman. Keeps the inning alive for Nick Markakis.
Number 22.
That's the only way he's going to get these teams to stop shifting on him. This was a pitch that was up, and he basically just fought it off, and there's nobody over there. So it'll make them think twice before they do it again.
And now another left-handed bat in Nick Markakis. He's got a 5-game hitting streak. And still looking for his first home run of the year. He took a shot the other way. And it's fouled down the third base line, strike 1. Nick has 49 hits this year. 41 of them singles.
And I don't know, I can't confirm this 100%, but he may be the only cleanup hitter in baseball that doesn't have a homer.
He's got the 4th most hits in the game without a homer.
But you know what? He's hitting 300.
Exactly
Nothing
right.
wrong with that either.
And getting on base. Remember, he led off for much of the year for the Braves. 23 walks leads the team. Their on base percentage at .399. Nick has said that his power outage is a result of the offseason neck surgery. He couldn't do his normal offseason workout routine while he recovered. Took a tough pitch there for an even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Little number back to the mound. Friendly hop and a strike to first. The Braves are done in the opening inning. Freddie Freeman with a 2-out hit. Williams Perez pitches against the Dodgers for the first time after the break. ahead of the Giants, but they've lost 6 of their last 10, and their offense is slumping. There's a reason for that. We'll explain in a moment. Jock Peterson's their leadoff man and center fielder. He's having an amazing first 2 months. Then Rollins, Kendrick, Adrian Gonzalez, Justin Turner, the former Met, Andre Ethier, Scott Van Slyke in left, A.J. Ellis, the catcher, and they'll all face Williams Perez, who's making his second start.
There's his line against the Rays last Wednesday. Outstanding work, only 1 walk and 79 pitches, so he was very efficient too. His 4 keys to pitching success today. Number 1, he's got an excellent changeup, and he'll need it today against this ball club, but don't fall in love with it, use it too much where they see it a lot. And down, down, down refers to the fact that we've been told the ball is flying out of this ballpark this year. Got to keep the ball down if you can.
The Dodgers have hit 57 home runs this year, 12 of them by Jock Peterson, who takes a strike. 34 of those 57 homers have come here in Los Angeles. That is not normal.
No, it's not. Even at night, the ball's jumping. We've got an afternoon start here today, but I was talking to Davey Lopes, the first base coach, and he said, I've never seen anything like it, where it's jumping out even at night.
1 ball, 1 strike from Perez, and Jock Peterson skies it out of play. It's now 1-2.
I've been really anxious to see this guy play. He had such height when he was in the minor leagues, and it was almost like the Dodgers were kind of sitting on him last year and not exposing him to us because of their loaded outfield. But what a talent. He has struck out 53 times in 139 at bats.
And that missed high. And Vince Scully was talking about Jock Peterson before the game. He said he does 3 things. He walks, he strikes out, or he hits a homer. Those are the 3 things that their rookie outfielder does. From an offensive standpoint, defensively, he said he's a marvelous outfielder. So we'll see about that. So he's pushed off the plate, full count. Jimmy Rollins in the number 2 spot. He's on deck. And Peterson skies one toward right center field. Maben dives, can't get there. Peterson around first, on his way to second. He's got a bloop double, and that's how the game begins for the Dodgers.
Shortstop, number 11, Jimmy Rollins.
Stands right up on top of the plate. That ball was pretty much on the inner third of the plate, but jammed him. And strong enough to fight it off. And good enough wheels to turn it into 2. Great effort by Cameron.
After 15 years with the Phillies, Jimmy Rollins is now a Dodger, hitting .201. They're trying to move Peterson to third. And he bunts in front of the plate, the throw to third, and Peterson's going to be tagged out. Bethancourt pounced on the bunt and got Peterson with ease at third base. 1 down.
Second baseman, number 47, Howie Kendrick.
Good idea, bad execution. Great job by Bethancourt to pounce on this. It just died right at home plate. And Christian took a look at third and realized he had a play. Dodger Stadium, in front of that area in front of home plate, always notoriously damp and soft.
Here's Howie Kendrick. We mentioned that the Dodgers have had trouble scoring runs of late. They were swept by the Giants. Didn't score a run against San Francisco at AT&T Park. One reason why Howie Kendrick is 5 for his last 27 and no runs batted in. He's their third place hitter. Kendrick, 4 homers, 17 RBIs. The Dodgers acquired him December 10th. That made D. Gordon expendable. He's now with the Marlins. Dodgers have stolen 11 bases this year. They've been caught 14 times. Rollins Marlins has 5 steals and a big lead at first. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Pitch. Right there, 2-1.
Well, that kind of ratio is not going to sit well with their base running coach, Davey Lopes, who's always had teams that were in the 80% success rate and above.
The way they're hitting home runs, why risk getting thrown out at second or third base?
Yeah, that's, well, and they don't have a D. Gordon at the top of their order anymore either.
The 2-1 pitch is out of play, headed for the upper deck. 2-2.
Williams Perez was in the low 90s in Atlanta. He popped a couple of fastballs, as I recall, in the 93 range, but he's been sitting right about 91 here in the first inning.
Strike 3 right down the middle, belled high. First strikeout, and out number 2.
First baseman.
And he bumped that one up to 93.
Adrian Gonzalez.
And it came back. I think maybe Kendrick gave up on it because it started outside and came back.
Now you've got Adrian Gonzalez. He's hitting .342. He's knocked in 32 runs. That's best, 6th best in the National League.
But like Kendrick, he's in a little bit of an RBI slump. He hasn't driven in a run in his last 8 games.
First pitch is off the plate. Well, let's hope the Braves' camouflage style uniforms don't make him think he's playing the Padres. 6 of Gonzalez's 9 homers and 10 of his 32 RBIs have come against San Diego. 1 ball, no strikes, and up and away. Ball 2. Jock Peterson led off with a double. Jimmy Rollins tried to bunt him to third. The ball died in front of the plate. Bethancourt threw to third, erased Peterson. Rollins at first with 2 outs after a Kendrick called third strike. And now a 2-0 pitch to Adrian Gonzalez. He is inside for ball 3. It's Justin Turner. He's the Dodgers' third baseman. Caught a corner, 3 balls and a strike. That's Clayton Kershaw. We'll see him tomorrow night. Line over short. And that'll get down for a hit. Johnny Gomes will spin and fire towards second. The Dodgers have runners first and third now with 2 outs. And it will be Turner coming up.
You know what? On a 3-1 count to Adrian Gonzalez, that's a really good pitch and not an awful result. 3-1, you fall behind to him. You don't want to just groove one. So you'll take a single to left field, even though it puts runners at first and third. That was a really good pitch with good movement on it. And a good hitter took it the other way.
It's the amazing thing about this sport. Not every hit comes on a bad pitch. That one, good piece of hitting by Gonzalez. Now a breaking ball has Justin Turner behind it. 0-1. He's having a good month. He's knocked in 13 runs in May, and he's beating out Juan Uribe at the moment.
Well, and that's why he's batting 5th and not Andre Ethier, even against a right-handed pitcher. He's a hot hitter.
He's got 2 aboard with 2 outs. And now an even count, 1-1. Turner just got hit. So a hit batsman will load the bases for the Dodgers.
Right fielder, number 16, Andre Ethier.
Sinker that got away from him. The run that Perez gave up against Tampa Bay came in the first inning. He gave up 2 singles to put runners at first and third, and then a sacrifice fly scored a run. After that, he really settled in. Didn't have much of a problem at all. One inning, the fourth, where he got that 3-6-1 double play, where he showed all that emotion. But otherwise, things went pretty smoothly for the rest of his 5 innings. With some early problems here again this afternoon.
And Andre Ethier, the man in the batter's box. Joe, you mentioned in the pregame show the injuries the Dodgers have suffered, most notably to their outfielders. It's funny how the game works. LA had too many outfielders and not enough spots last year. This year, Carl Crawford's hurt and Yasiel Puig is hurt. That's allowed Ethier to play, and he's playing like Andre Ethier 4 years ago.
Kind of returned to form.
Well, he's got a chance for serious 2-out damage. Bases loaded for the Dodgers. Still scoreless. Ball 1.
He always seems to hit well against the Braves, too.
Way outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Ethier, a .299 batting average against the Braves in this ballpark. It's 26 career games. Got a good count to hit now. And now it's 3-0.
Well, unfortunately, you have to make a good pitch here, and he may be swinging 3-0.
Fastball. It's 3-1. At the knees, outside corner. What a pitch. Can he make one more?
Well, this one doesn't have to be perfect. PNC Bank Fox tracks right at the bottom of the zone. This one doesn't have to be a strike, but if it's close enough to make Ethier swing, he can't afford to take it. One just like he fired in there would be just right.
Runners go. 3-2 pitch is just low, and Ethier walks with the bases loaded. Rollins scores the first run of the game, and it's 1-0 Dodgers.
A 3-2 changeup. Not a bad location, just not a time where you could afford to throw a ball with it, and it cost him a run.
So the bases remain loaded for the Dodgers, and Scott Van Slyke is the batter. And he nearly got hit inside. He's missing arm side inside to the right-hand hitters in this first inning. And Pedro Siriaco in for a quick chat.
And Van Slyke probably sorry he didn't take that one for the team.
Van Slyke has been a big-time clutch hitter for the Dodgers, hitting .390 with runners on base so far this year. Overall, 2 homers, 14 knocked in. Long inning for Williams Perez. He's about to make his 30th pitch. Too high, I suppose. 3 balls and a strike.
That looked like the pitch he called Kendrick out on early in the inning.
Wow.
Absolutely it was.
Little pop. Jace Peterson drifts out, still going back, and he'll make the sliding catch, and that'll retire the side. Good job to minimize the damage, but a heavy workload for Williams Perez. He's down a run after one. Bases loaded walk to Andre Ethier scores the game's first run. And now Anderson back to work for the Dodgers to face Johnny Gomes, Andrew Simmons, and Pedro Ciriaco. Here's a look at the Dodger defense. Los Angeles with 19 errors this year. Remember, they're without Seal Puig, without Carl Crawford, and Slyke and Peterson and Ethier in the outfield. Turner and Gonzalez at the corners. Rollins and Kendrick, two veterans up the middle, and A.J. Ellis is the man behind the plate.
Those 19 errors make them tied for second in defense in the National League. Miami has made 17. And Los Angeles tied with Arizona.
Johnny Gomes has been waiting for these two games for about 2 weeks. Yeah. Braves have two left-handed starters going back-to-back. Anderson tonight, Kershaw tomorrow, and Rollins at short. The pick and the throw to first in time gets Johnny Gomes for out number one. It's always a star-studded crowd when you come to Los Angeles, and the Dodgers do a great job of involving the Hollywood celebrities. That's George Lopez. He's the ball boy down the right field line tonight.
I hope he brought all of his protective equipment.
Yes. Here's Andrelton Simmons. 1 ball, no strikes for the Braves shortstop.
Anderson's fastballs in the first inning all sat around 92, 93, and that's harder than normal.
To center. Peterson turned the wrong way. The wind to push that toward right center. But he recovered in time, and there's out number two.
Third baseman, number 13.
Already 4 ground ball outs for Brett Anderson, and his fastball is usually in the high 80s, low 90s. Played for his dad at Oklahoma State. Frank, who was the coach there for a while, and is now the pitching coach at Houston.
As we mentioned a few moments ago, Alberto Callaspo was originally in the starting lineup for the Braves. A very late scratch. We didn't get word of that until about 15 minutes before the opening bell in Los Angeles. Still no word as to what's ailing Pedro Ciriaco. Alberto Callaspo, I beg your pardon. Fly ball to right. Long run, Ethier won't get there, and the ball drops in for the second Braves hit. What you don't hope happened is a flu bug.
No.
Remember, that's what happened to Alex Wood, forced him to miss his start back in Atlanta.
Well, I saw Alberto before the game as the Braves were about to start their batting practice. As you see, this one dropped in there nicely. and he seemed to be fine. He was talking to his former teammate Howie Kendrick, and they were having a good time. So I don't know what happened.
Both Braves singles have come with 2 outs. Here's Christian Bethancourt. He's hitting 182 and a strike. No homers, 5 RBIs for Bethancourt. Back on May 21st, Christian might have had his best game of the season. It was in Julio Teheran's start against the Brewers. Bethancourt had 3 hits, scored 2, knocked in a run. And this one scorched past Kendrick into center field. So back-to-back hits for the Braves, and that'll clear Williams Perez, who bats with 2 out.
Pitcher, number 61, Williams Perez.
So Christian's on a good roll with his bat. Breaking ball that he waited on, and I mean barreled it up past Kendrick. Siriaco, not wanting to risk making the 3rd out at third base, wisely stopped at second.
Williams was 0 for 1 in his debut. That just missed. 1 ball, no strikes. Found the mark. It's an even count.
Good slow hook there.
And another one ends the inning. No runs, a couple of hits. The Braves clear the pitcher in the second. They trail by a run in Game 1 against the Dodgers.
Our fallen warriors. Growing up in Minnesota, Corey Goodnature was a star athlete who credited wrestling with giving him the drive and discipline needed to become an Army Special Operations pilot. But in 2005, Corey was killed in action while piloting a rescue mission in Afghanistan. Fox Sports honors Chief Warrant Officer Corey Goodnature.
And we hope as you enjoy time with your friends and family on this Memorial Day, you'll think about sacrifices like the one we just showed you. Dodgers had a wonderful pregame ceremony with the branches of military on the field. Great color guard. Both teams stood at attention on the first and third base lines on a spectacular day in Southern California.
You know, just, I mean, like Chief Warrant Officer good nature there. So many of these stories we hear about these guys over there, especially in special ops, they're all athletes. They were all high school athletes, college athletes. And certainly to that family, we send our condolences and best wishes and think of him here on Memorial Day.
A.J. Ellis is the batter. Takes a strike. Over 500 Major League Baseball players served in World War II in some capacity. And a lot of them were superstars. As this ball is bounced first by A.J. Ellis with the first out. Warren Spahn, we all know the Colonel, Jerry Coleman. Ted Williams, 4.5 years as a pilot during World War II in Korea. Grover Cleveland Alexander suffered mustard gas wounds in World War I. Christy Mathewson, the same. Jackie Robinson was in the military during World War II.
Bob Feller, big time.
Sure. But there were 13 Major League Baseball players since 1900 who died in combat.
Is that right?
In military service. Elmer Gideon perished flying a B-26 mission over France in April of 1944. And Harry O'Neill, who was a catcher, caught 2 innings in 1939, served in the U.S. Marines, died in Iwo Jima. And so on this day, certainly baseball honors and remembers those 2 men. And the countless others who proudly wore our nation's military uniforms. A strike takes care of Brett Anderson. And Perez back on the beam. A ground out and a strikeout to start the home second.
Number 31, Jock Peterson.
Here's Peterson, a bloop double. And he was out trying to move from second to third. A little oddity in today's game. Both leadoff men are named Peterson. Both first names start with the letter J. Jock for the Dodgers, Jace for the Braves.
One with a D, one with a T.
If I remember correctly, this kid won the batting title last year, didn't he, at AAA? Is that right?
Can't confirm that for you.
Check.
Just watching his stance and his hands. I like that he has crowded him twice, because he is right on top of the plate, very upright, hands real close to his body.
A shot to right. And Peterson didn't win the batting title, but he was a 30-30 man. That was the superlative stat last year. First Pacific Coast League player with a 30-homer, 30-steal season since Frank Demery in 1934.
There's another changeup. He missed on the 3-2 count that walked in a run on a changeup, left that one up. That was one of his keys tonight. Don't overuse a changeup. It's a good pitch, but that was not a good one.
So Jimmy Rollins, the batter, he tried to bunt his first time. I think Mr. Scully's got to fix his scouting report. All he said was he strikes out, walks, or hits a homer. Talking about Peterson, he's 2 for 2 with a double and a single.
Yeah, we need to have a talk with him.
There he is. Voice of baseball. The incomparable Vin Scully, 87 years young. 66 years with the Dodgers.
Son Gabe is here with me at the ballpark tonight. We were here early, and Gabe got a chance to meet Vin Scully and talk to him for a while. And the thing that Gabe said as soon as we left the booth, man, he is sharp as a tack.
The fact that he can
absolutely
be, the fact that he is with his producer, that is a testament to his mental powers.
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
He would have taken early retirement.
If only he knew. Ground ball to second. And Jace Peterson takes care of Jimmy Rollins, and Williams Perez with a nice rebound in the second. Top of the order coming up for the Braves. 1-0 Dodgers early.
low price every day.
Beautiful day in Los Angeles where the Dodgers lead by an early run. We always talk about Vin Scully, but we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that man. Jaime Jarrín, the Hall of Fame voice of the Dodgers in Spanish here in Los Angeles. He's broadcast the Dodgers since 1959. He came to the United States in 1955 and had never seen a baseball game.
He never ages. Such a gentleman.
And he has the good fortune to work alongside his son, Jorge, on the Dodger Spanish radio broadcasts. In fact, the Dodgers are the only team with 2 Ford Frick Award winners still working behind the microphone. And it's not hard to understand why when you get to spend 5 minutes with them. Jace go, he did not. 2 balls and a strike. Kendrick made a nice play on Peterson to start the ball game. Braves are 8-2 since he moved to the leadoff spot. Reached base twice yesterday at home, a single and a walk against Milwaukee. Another chance at second for Kendrick, easier play, and he'll make it for out number 1.
Number 25.
Anderson 2-2 on the year. He said he's pitched real well in May. Opponents through the lineup, first time through the lineup, a low batting average. Gets a little better as the game goes on. We'll see him a second or third time. Let's see if that pays off for Atlanta.
Cameron Maybin grounded out short in the first inning. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. Duplicate inning in the first and third. Ground out to second, ground out to short from Peterson and Maybin. Rollins handles that easily, and here's Freddie Freeman with 2 outs.
So far, he's got that sinker working. Ground ball outs. All 3 Braves hits so far have been opposite field hits. Let's see if Freddie's opposite field hit adjusts their shift.
And Turner's looking into the Dodger dugout, palm skyward, saying, "Hey, where do you want me to play?"
Jimmy Rollins still walking as the pitch was being tossed, almost like he was saying, "I don't want to go over there."
You'd think of all the Dodgers, he'd have the best scouting report.
But yeah, and I think that might be part of it. But you know what else? When the Phillies used to shift, he stayed put, and third baseman moved over. So maybe he's objecting to having to walk about 10 or 15 steps.
Well, he's an older gentleman.
Yes,
right?
he is.
Freddie didn't get it. 2 balls and a strike. Freddie's from Orange County, as you know. Saw his dad on the field before the game, so you know his pass list is full for game 1. And a little number, almost a thing of beauty at third again.
That would have been sweet. This is Tortolotto hitting the jackpot his last 32 games. How about the average with runners in scoring position? Only 1 homer. We see that. He knows it.
He'll have a seat as he is struck out by Mr. Anderson. His second strikeout of the ball game, and he maintains a 1-run lead. the Braves defensive lineup presented by CPI Security. Johnny Gomes gets the start in left. Siriaco in at third. And Christian Leffencourt behind the plate with the left-hander on the mound for the Dodgers. Williams Perez had an easier time of it last inning. Allowed a 2-out hit. And nothing else. He's got the 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up for the Dodgers now. That's corked down the right side. Now to play foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, for a team that's having a real hard time scoring runs, which the Dodgers are, he did them a big time favor walking in a run in the first. They'll take it, certainly.
He did a nice job coming back from a 3-0 count to get it to 3-2, but his changeup missed low, and it was a no-brainer ball 4 call. 2 balls and a strike. There's that change. 2-2.
I admire his gumption on that 3-2 change, but in the first inning, until you know that you can throw it in there for a strike, that was a gutsy call.
Line fair to the right field corner. Marquez played that beautifully. Almost picked off George Lopez too.
George, look at him. He wasn't sure.
23.
Boy, Kendrick stayed on that one. He didn't give up on that fastball, and George was just about to go after it and wisely pulled back.
So runner at first for Adrian Gonzalez. And that's out of play foul. Steve, right 1. Gonzalez began his year in huge fashion. He had 5 homers in the first 3 games of the year for Los Angeles. And he finds himself behind 0-2. Started play tonight with the second best average in the National League at .342. Because the Dodgers play out west and their games start late East Coast time, fans back east don't hear enough about how good a hitter this guy is. He's been doing it a long time. He just broke his bat, and that's going to be a pop into shallow right, and Peterson, what a play from his backside. His try to first will be late. What a play by Jace Peterson, and listen to the Dodger fans.
Number 10.
Don't you love
Justin
that?
Turner.
Don't you love that when a guy makes a good play and the visiting fans, in this case Dodger fans, appreciate what a good play that was? Outstanding. I thought it was another broken bat flare, and Jace took it away from him.
That was our Zaxby's indescribably good play, and with good reason. 2 good grabs made by Peterson in the game, and now Justin Turner's the batter. He was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. You know, the umpires are supposed to be impartial observers of the game and just make sure that everybody plays within the rules. I think we sometimes forget their fans too. It's the crew chief, Dana DeMuth. He was clapping after Peterson made that play.
He appreciated the effort. It's pretty close to a balk there for Williams. He didn't quite get that front foot turned. You've got to step. You can't just jump. And he almost got his spikes hung up to a point where he didn't even step.
Up the middle, a base hit for Justin Turner. Maven got to it quickly. Kendrick will stop at second, and Turner has his first hit of the game. And the Dodgers have 5 of them already with 1 out in the 3rd inning.
Boy, another pitch up, let her high. Another changeup.
Williams could use a ground ball here off the bat of Andre Ethier, who's hit to just one double play this year. He walked with the bases loaded and drove in his 16th run. Good cut. Foul back. In a way, Joe, this Dodger offense reminds me of the Braves offense last year.
Very much so. But right now they're missing two key components. Carl Crawford, and you see a Puig. Crawford with an oblique injury, Puig with a hamstring. Boy, how about that number?
That's one of the ways they remind us of the Braves offense last year. They had extended stretches of offensive futility, run scoring spots, and the other part of it is, like last year in Atlanta, this year the Dodgers rely on the home run. Nearly half of their total runs have come via the home run ball this season. That's great when you're getting them. When you don't, the Dodgers aren't right now. Times can be tough offensively.
Almost 46% of their runs come from home run. That's third highest in Major League Baseball. And the Braves number used to be somewhere in that vicinity.
1-1 count. And a shot to left, a base hit. Gomes will play it on a hop. Got to it quickly. And Siriaco handles between the plate and third base. So 3 singles, has the bases loaded for LA with 1 out.
Number 33, Scott Van Slyke.
Backdoor breaking ball. I'll tell you what, Ethier and Kendrick this inning have hit good pitches. That one might have been up just a little bit, but it was a backdoor pitch to be sure. And both of them have taken them the other way with some authority. So give them some credit.
For the second of 3 innings tonight, the Dodgers have the bases loaded. A run on 6 hits. Scott Van Slyke's the batter.
He's hit into a couple of double plays. This meeting on the mound is wrapping up after Roger McDowell was out.
Kendrick, Turner, and Ethier, the Dodger base runners for Scott Van Slyke. And that missed inside. Perez with a look into the dugout, thought that was good enough.
Yeah, I thought it was too. So did Christian Bethencourt. Double pumped on his throwback.
Van Slyke, then the catcher, then Anderson the pitcher. 1-0 Dodgers, third inning. Pretty tight zone. Let's see if Van Slyke has a green light. He did, and he bounces to short. There's 1, there's 2. Thank you very much. On a 3-0 count, Van Slyke is doubled up, and the Dodgers load the bases and cannot add to a 1-0 lead. In between innings, Freddie Gonzalez and Mike Estabrook were jawing from the dugout and the first base line.
Freddie says it's a better game when you call strikes.
Couldn't agree more. Pretty tight zone through 3 innings for the Braves rookie Williams Perez. So let's see if Atlanta can get it tied or take a lead with their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Markakis, Gomes, and Andrelton Simmons are due. Game 1 against Los Angeles, and that's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. One area where the Braves are really excited about having Nick Markakis playing right field is what he does against left-handed pitching. That is a dramatic difference between the talents of Markakis and Jason Hayward. Bouncing ball to second. Entering play tonight, Markakis was hitting over 300 against left-handed pitchers. And Jason Hayward, that was always an issue for him offensively.
It was.
The Braves like that upgrade. But Markakis is 0 for 2 in tonight's ball game. Here's Johnny Gomes. 7 ground ball outs for Anderson, 2 strikeouts. Simmons the only flyout. Braves have 3 hits. Want to know your count?
I think Johnny might go deep tonight. Feel good about his chances. Braves have not hit a home run in their last 7 games. They're due.
They hit 26 as a team this year. Get it, 2 balls and a strike. First beach ball sighting of the night. Off to our right, now on the lower deck. It's always fun. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Johnny Gomes. Special night for the Dodger fans in attendance this evening. First the pitch to Johnny. It's Tommy Lasorda Garden Gnome Night.
Boy, that's a real stretch, isn't it?
There he is. So from a Garden Gnome to Johnny Gomes. And a bouncing ball into left field, a base hit. The Braves have their first hit with fewer than 2 outs in an inning. Gomes provides it. He's aboard for Andrelton Simmons.
Andrelton Simmons.
Got ahead in the count. Anderson came back, threw that lollipop curveball, 3-2. Johnny's now hitting 4 straight, right?
He's 4 for 12 in that stretch. And now the Braves shortstop will try to move him along. Dodgers play him as an opposite field hitter in the outfield. Huge gap in left center if Anderson can pull a ball that way.
Yeah, that's why Peterson was able to track down that deep fly hit his first time up. Jock shading him to right center.
That's downstairs. You played here. You were a Dodger. When you see this ballpark first time in a year, does it look any different to you?
No, it's great. Always has been. A lot of changes over the years with respect to how the stadium has encroached onto the field, I'll say, with a lot of seats, premium seats. And of course, the club level was adjusted to include a lot of suites. But it's still a fabulous place. 1962 model.
There's a strike. Now from foul pole to foul pole, everything
from that blue wall toward the field. That used to be in play, right?
Yeah, this back here behind the dugout. The dugout was real recess from where it is.
Little tapper. They're going to have to hurry. Anderson pounces, throws low to first, and they got it. Good play for the second out. Gomes to second. And a good play by the Dodger pitcher.
Yeah, no way I thought they were going to get him, and a good pick over at first there by Adrian Gonzalez, who doesn't get enough credit for his glove work. But Anderson, a little slow start coming out of the box. Yes, that area behind the dugout, what used to be the permanent wall.
So if you hit a pop fly, you had no chance, right? That's another, 60, 70 feet of foul territory.
A ton of foul territory, and a long walk back to the dugout after a strikeout. A long one.
I didn't ask you about that personal experience, but
just a memory.
Just downstairs for Pedro Siriaco. Still no word on what's ailing Alberto Carrasco. It was a late scratch.
Junior Gilliam, the late great Jim Gilliam, who was the first base coach when I made it to the big leagues with the Dodgers, said, I don't understand these young fellas these days. That, they run back to the dugout after a strikeout.
Up the middle, a base hit. Here comes Gomes around third. Peterson gloves. His throw toward the plate is going to be well shy of the dish, and Ellis couldn't scoop it up. Pedro Siriaco is 2 for 2. Freddie Gonzalez, a stroke of genius to put him in the lineup. And his run-scoring hit ties the game here in the top of the fourth.
Hey, you know what? He's already got 4 RBIs. That's his first single among, earlier today was his first single among 4 hits, now 5 hits. And this was solid right back through the middle. And nobody there to cut the ball off. Gonzalez had a long way to go from first base to be the cutoff man, but there was nobody there to cut the ball off, to be the middleman. That's why he made it to second.
So the Dodgers won't pitch to Bethancourt. They'll go after Williams Perez, who's got new life.
I'll finish this real quick while they're walking. And Jim Gilliam said to me one time, he said, I don't understand these young fellows and why they jog back to the dugout or hustle back to the dugout after a strikeout. He said, I walked as slow as I possibly could, hoping the umpire would change his mind before I got back to the dugout.
I love it.
He was a beauty. His nickname was Devil.
Number 61.
Sounds like it was a perfect nickname.
It was wonderful. He was wonderful. Walter Alston once said about him, I never saw him make a base running mistake all the time he played for me.
Wow. Perez takes the ball outside. Think of all the games that Walter Alston managed in the big leagues. That's incredible compliment. 1 ball, no strikes. And that's taken downstairs by Perez. And now Ellis out for a chat. Well, the Braves and Dodgers, 2 iconic franchises in the history of Major League Baseball. These teams have played each other over 2,000 times since 1900. From Brooklyn to LA, and tapped foul at the plate. It's 2-2.
Anderson's had a hard time getting ahead in the count this inning, including the pitcher and including the intentional pass. 4 times he had gone to 2-0 counts.
He got his man, but as you said, Joe, the second time through the order, the Braves have had better luck against Anderson. A run on 2 hits, and our game's now tied after 3.5.
Braves have tied it up 1-1 versus the Dodgers as we celebrate Memorial Day, a day where there's patriotism shown everywhere. But from Johnny Gomes, we see that every single day. He has red, white, and blue on his bats, and take a look at what he has on his right leg. Everything that represents America is on Johnny Gomes' right leg in a tattoo. He's got the Golden Gate Bridge to represent the West Coast. He's got the Statue of Liberty to represent the East. And if you look closely, you see some World War II planes in there. A piece that means so much to Johnny. And he told me earlier today, at one point in his life, 2001, when he thought baseball was over, he actually enlisted in the Marines. And he said a contract for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays came out of nowhere. He decided to take it. He said, it wasn't that I didn't want to serve. I really wanted to, and I thought hard about it. But he said, I thought I'd see this baseball thing out and see where it takes me. And look where it's taking him, guys.
Yeah, taking him to a terrific big league career, Christina. Thanks. That's a great story. I didn't know that he had tried to enlist.
No, and I mean, who better be a Marine than Johnny Gomes?
Well, it's funny you say that because yesterday in Atlanta they had the great Memorial Day ceremony. And again on Saturday they had some Army Rangers at the ballpark, and they brought one of those Army Ranger, I guess it's either a bayonet or an axe or something.
Oh, yeah, that they gave to Freddie.
Yeah. And Johnny said, I wonder if this is a replica. So he took the axe and went thunk and took out a chunk of the bench. He said, I guess it's real. Glad he tried it on the bench and not somebody's leg.
Well, maybe you should have just left it there.
Well, yeah, that's true, too. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Perez gets A.J. Ellis. All I can tell you is you give Johnny Gomes an M16 and you're afraid to take care of business. You don't need a battalion.
Nope.
And Perez gets the first man here in the Dodger fourth. Braves have tied it 1 apiece. RBI hit from Pedro Siriaco.
And Williams could use an easy inning.
Let's see if Freddie Gonzalez's chirping an inning ago pays some dividends for his pitcher. If Mike Estabrook's strike zone loosens up a bit. Off the plate, even count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Out of play, foul left side. Into the seats. 1 and 2 your count. Few empty seats down the lines here in the upper deck at Dodger Stadium, but boy, tickets are flying out the window. Dodgers are drawing over 47,000 fans a game. Already over 1 million in attendance. And Perez has his second strikeout in a row. That's 4 for the game. We go back to the top and Jock Peterson.
Yeah, this grand old lady seats 56,000 still. So even with some empty seats, there's a good chance there's 40 or 45,000 here today.
And they've got a good ball club to watch. Los Angeles leads the West by a couple of games over the Giants. San Francisco did win today. They beat Milwaukee 8-4 at Miller Park. The Braves are trying to help out San Francisco, whom will play next.
I understand Ryan Braun hit a tape measure shot in that one. Still glad he didn't play yesterday.
Still can't believe he didn't. That's high and tight. 2 balls, no strikes. Colorado won today. They beat the Reds 5-4. Rockies were just happy to get a game in. They have had 7 games this month delayed or postponed because of rain.
I got a text from Dwayne Kuiper, broadcaster for the Giants, who they were just in there, and he said, we are waterlogged after so much rain there.
To a pitch. That's a strike. Mets beat the Phillies 6-3 today. Washington beat the Cubs 2-1. That was the Bryce Harper, Chris Bryant showdown at Wrigley. And a swing and a miss, 2-2. The wind was blowing straight out in Chicago, and it was a 2-1 game.
How about that? So some good pitching.
Cardinals beat Arizona 3-2 in St. Louis. And the Pirates are leading the Marlins 4-2 in the 8th in Pittsburgh. And that's downstairs for Jock. Full count. Swing and a miss. He just struck out the side. 80 pitches for Williams. Perez threw 4 innings. At the top of his order will try to give him a 5th inning lead. He and Christian Bethancourt developing a rhythm. He just struck out the side in the home 4th. And now the Braves have their 1-2-3 hitters coming up, and a tie game, 1 apiece. One ball, 1 strike for Jace Peterson. He's played pepper with Howie Kendrick at second base for 2.
And made a spectacular catch out in right field if you missed that.
It's one of the best catches we've seen all year. The Braves second baseman.
Anytime you get the umpires to clap for you, that's a pretty good catch.
Bouncing ball up the middle, and Peterson's got a hit. And A.J. Ellis frustrated. He bends over behind the plate. And a leadoff man aboard for the Braves. Good night already for Jace Peterson. Hit, now a couple of good defensive plays.
Big slow curveball again. Jace waited back on it, hit it back where it came from.
Adrian Gonzalez goes over to talk with Anderson as Cameron Maybin digs in. He's bounced out to short twice. Third time through the order for the Braves. And Peterson on first move is going. And the throw is going to nail it. It's almost like they knew that was coming.
Maybe Jace thought that they were talking about holding him close and then never expected him to come over there after their meeting. Not so.
So the bases are empty for Maybin. And that ball's in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. Now 2-0. Freeman Maben with 13 RBIs in the month of May. And he just earned a 4-pitch walk. Second walk of the game and in as many innings for Anderson.
Yeah, one was intentional, but I mean, this guy doesn't put too many people on base. We showed you that number for May. 4 starts in May, only 5 walks total. But he's been pitching behind in the count a lot the last inning and a half.
Make him pay for that. So 1 on, 1 out for Freeman. Freddie is singled and struck out. Ball 1. Beginning to stir in the Dodgers bullpen, and they have an excellent bullpen. Anderson at 74 pitches now, and that went all the way back to the screen and under the chin of Freeman. So Maben moves to second on a very wild pitch. And Don Mattingly wants to see if Anderson's hurt.
Well, he missed some time last year. He was with the Colorado Rockies. Went 1-3 with a 2.91 ERA last year with Colorado, but he's looking at the ground like he landed funny. But he broke his left index finger on April 12th last season, and also missed some time with a bad back. Juan Nicasio is loosening up in their pen.
This long meeting buys some more time for Nicasio to get loose. He just got up before that wild pitch inside to Freddie Freeman.
His foot didn't slip or anything, but he looked down like it landed in a different spot.
New ball, new pitch. So Anderson will stay in the game. 3 warm-up tosses, no visit. And Freeman will dig back in with a 2-ball, no strike count. RBI chance for the Braves first baseman. Get it. 2 balls and a strike. Maben can fly. He's got a big lead at second. Field deep for Freddie. And a shot into the shift. And under the glove of Kendrick and into right field. Ethier can only pick it up and watch Maben score the go-ahead run. There's a big break. Braves cash in the second walk. An RBI hit from Freeman, and the Braves lead 2-1.
We showed you that number for Freddie, 444, batting with runners in scoring position over this hot stretch he's been in. And even with the second baseman playing in shallow right field, this is the same type play, Chip, that you got to make where you tell everybody, knock the ball down, you know, try to save a run to keep the guy from scoring from second base. Got to say, that was not a very good effort on the part of Kendrick to try to get to that ball. That should have been made, and the Braves would take advantage.
So Markakis bats. Atlanta's got its first lead of the series. 2-1 in game 1 versus the Dodgers. Markakis is tapped back to the mound, and he's grounded out to second. So 2 hits and a walk. The 3rd time through the batting order against Anderson. This one smoked toward Rollins. He stumbles, feeds Kendrick, and the turn a beauty. Markakis is doubled up, but not before the Braves take the lead on Freddie Freeman's 23rd RBI of the season. Bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Atlanta. 2-1's your score.
Yeah, remember I was talking earlier about his changeup that he tried to use in the first inning, 3-2 count, bases loaded, and he walked a run in, the only run for the Dodgers. Here with Jock Peterson, 3-2 count to end the fourth inning. He went with a breaking ball that he took a little off, and it served the same purpose, that back foot breaking ball, and was more effective. At least had better results.
80 pitches tonight, 79 through 5 innings in his last start. We'll see how deeply Williams can take the ball here tonight. He's got to go 5 to qualify for the win. He leads 2-1 with Jimmy Rollins, Howie Kendrick, and Adrian Gonzalez coming up. Another close game between the Braves and Dodgers. 5 of the 7 games last year were decided by 2 runs or less. Mattingly's club. Offensive drought, almost as severe as the rainwater drought they have here in SoCal.
Boy, it is bad.
Two balls, 1 strike for Rollins. And that's up and away.
I have family in Oklahoma. They're getting webbed feet from all the rain, and these people out here can't buy a drop.
In the air toward left. Gomes drifts back, and Johnny's got it shy of the track. And it was a good start to the 5th inning. Rollins flies out, 1 man down. Here's Kendrick. We didn't see Howie Kendrick much because he played in the American League. And a real good player with the Angels. A .292 lifetime hitter with 78 homers. Was an all-star in 2011. Originally a 10th round pick by the Angels in 2002. He's going to ground out to Jace Peterson. And Perez is getting the ball on the ground. There's out number 2 for Adrian Gonzalez. Time for our AT&T Universe trivia question. We finished the homestand in great fashion. We're on a winning streak, so let's see if we can keep it up as we join you from Los Angeles. Tonight's question is...
By the way, we're playing really well at home. Let's see how we do on the road.
The last 10 years, Adrian Gonzalez is one of 2 current National League hitters with 600 or more extra base hits. Current National League hitters with over 600 extra base hits. Name the other player. Once we get on a hot streak, we only get like 3 innings to come up with the answer.
Well, we got a new questionnaire, too.
Yeah. Surprised it wasn't an ACC baseball question. But always that chance tomorrow.
Yep.
600 or more extra base hits. As Gonzalez takes a ball, 2 balls and a strike.
Ryan Howard, David Wright. Maybe even Chase Utley. Matt Holliday.
Three balls and a strike. That caught a corner. Gonzalez was ready to flip the bat away.
But Jimmy Rollins.
Great answer.
There may be a little, with the camo today the guys are wearing, there may be a little camouflage on that question.
Full count pitch. And coughed into right field. Markakis will have to hustle to cut it off. He did with a backhand, and Gonzalez slams on the brakes. He's got a 2-out hit, and he's 2 for 3.
He hit that one a lot like we see Freddie Freeman go out around a pitch and hook it to right field. Kind of leaning out over the plate and then raking it to right field. That was very similar to a Freeman hack.
Isn't it funny, too? There's really no such thing as an ugly-looking left-handed swing. It's just amazing. So Gonzalez at first for 2 outs and turning the batter. Ball 1. Turner's been a big RBI man for the Dodgers this month. And a hot hitter. Popped up on foul ground. Will it stay in play for Freddie? It might. At the rail, just out of reach.
About 10 years ago, that's a can of corn.
Yep.
So much foul territory.
Perez approaching 100 pitches. He threw 31 in the first inning. They only gave up 1 run. This kid's battling. He's still throwing hard. That one right on by. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's picked up a little extra when he wants it. He's been 89 to 91 most of the night. Struck out Kendrick in the first inning when he bumped one up to 93, and that one was 92.
Strike 3 called, and that ends the inning. Williams Perez is through 5 with the lead. Turner can't believe it. 6 strikeouts for the rookie right-hander, and Atlanta goes back to work in Los Angeles. 2-1 your score at Dodger Stadium. X will perform after the game Wednesday, June 10th for a free post-game concert. That's presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. VIP field and backstage passes are available now. Get your tickets at Braves.com/concerts. 2-1 Atlanta, looking for more now as we head to the 6th inning. Ton of Braves fans here in Southern California. This was always very fertile Braves country during the Superstation days.
Sure was. Still is.
And in the early 80s, when the Braves and Dodgers had that unbelievable rivalry, remember Tommy Lasorda would come to the old ballpark. Mike Fratello would be the Dodgers bat boy, and Tommy Lasorda would get booed every time he stuck his head out of the dugout at the old ballpark. Check swing roller off the bat of Gomes. And Adrian Gonzalez will make an easy play at first for out number 1.
Johnny hates
Number 19.
Any hitter hates it. You know, it's just you're checking your swing, and it's an excuse me. Oh, go foul. You know. It's almost like you just want to call timeout.
Andrelton Simmons 0 for 2. Nice play by the pitcher to retire him back in the 4th inning. He jumps on the first pitch and shoots that towards center, and Jock Peterson, a nice catch. 2 out.
Well, they've had Andrelton played perfectly there tonight. A deep fly that turned Peterson around back in the 2nd inning, but he made the catch and then positioned there for that line drive.
Andrelton's the only Brave that's been able to hit the ball in the air. 10 ground outs, 2 flyouts. And now Siriaco, the batter. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI. And a strike. We'll see what the Dodgers do in their half of the 6th inning. The pitchers do 4th. Braves lead 2-1. Foul at the plate. It's now 1-2. That's into the Dodger dugout by the cameraman.
With the pitching matchups that were scheduled for this series, we really didn't expect a whole lot of runs to be scored by either side. But the one curious thing we had, or question we had, was, how would Williams Perez bounce back after his first start? So far, so good tonight.
And to your point about the offense, Freddie Gonzalez was asked about that after the game at home against Milwaukee, game the Braves won by an identical 2-1 score. He said, this is who we are. We're going to have to scratch for runs. We're going to have to manufacture things, make the most of our opportunities. This is not a quick strike Atlanta offense. The numbers bear that out. The Braves have hit 26 home runs this year. Despite that fact, the Dodgers have only outscored them by 13 runs this year. A little flare towards second, but Howie Kendrick catches on the outfield grass. In close games, you figure to see good defense. We've seen several excellent defensive plays tonight. That one by the Dodgers second baseman. Braves maintain a 1-run lead. Baseball history, the final 3 home runs in the legendary career of Babe Ruth were hit today. Some fans might forget that the former Red Sox and Yankee great finished his career as a member of the Boston Braves. On this date in 1935 at Old Forbes Field, the last of those home runs, Joe, was estimated to go 600 feet out of the ballpark in right field. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, how did Babe Ruth end up with the Boston Braves is, as Paul Harvey would have said, the rest of the story. Babe Ruth in 1934 desperately wanted to become the manager of the Yankees, who had Joe McCarthy at the helm, and he at the time was considered to be the best manager in the game. And Jacob Rupert said, well, no, Joe McCarthy's our manager. If you want to manage, go to Newark and manage at AAA. Babe Ruth said, I don't want to manage in the minor leagues. A shot by Ethier to short. Simmons scoops that up, makes the play at first. So Emo Fuchs was the owner of the Boston Braves. He convinced Babe Ruth to come over with a promise to be a part of the front office. They paid him $25,000 and a percentage of the profits, and with the eventual handshake agreement that maybe he'd become the Braves manager. Babe Ruth entered that Pittsburgh series in a 3-for-44 slump. He knew that time was running out and eventually retired on June 2nd. After he hit his 3 home runs, his wife said, "You need to retire now." But the Braves were on a road trip, and there were all kinds of congratulatory, laudatory celebrations planned for the Bambino, and he wanted to continue to do that. But the offer to manage never came about. The front office gig never came about. And the Braves finished 38-115 that year, the worst record at the time in National League history. Babe Ruth finished that year with 6 home runs. That was the second highest total on the team. Wally Berger hit 34 home runs. And the season was so bad for Emo Fuchs that to get that taste out of his mouth, we're not going to be the Braves anymore. The next year they became the Boston Bees. And that was the end of Babe Ruth's legendary playing career with home runs 714. 2 pickouts in the bottom of the 6th inning for Williams Perez. Ethier out, Van Slyke out, and here's Ellis.
The story was that he was going to get somewhere around 100 pitches tonight. So he's at 103. He's had his strongest innings in the 4th, 5th, and here in the 6th. So it's likely this would be his last outing if the pitch count report was correct, and I'd say it's another good outing.
He looks like a different pitcher in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. He's getting ahead in the count. He's using his fastball more.
Well, those 4 keys just got down to the dugout. We're so high up here at Dodger Stadium, it took 3 innings for him to get to it. But you're right. He's done a great job. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball, fly ball, pretty well hit, but that's going to stay in the yard. Johnny Gomes has room, and Williams Perez is through 6 innings with a 1-run lead. 2-1 is your score, and on this Memorial Day, USAA honors those who gave everything in their service to our country. In honor of Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who've been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Christian Bethancourt leads off for the Braves in the 7th. And Eric Young Jr.'s grabbed a bat. He'll hit for Williams Perez next. Boy, was the kid terrific.
Absolutely. Struggle in the first inning again. The only run for the Dodgers came in on a bases loaded walk.
You know, he had a kind of start that Tom Glavine would appreciate. Get that run out of the way early, and just go to work.
Make some pitches like he did in the third inning with the bases loaded on a 3-0 count. Got a double play to get out of the inning.
Hits are even at 7 apiece. And a ground ball toward Gonzalez at first. He'll make the play. And there's out number 1. So Bethancourt 1 for 2. And here's Eric Young Jr. You got to get it at bat on your birthday, don't you? Lee Wise, 30 years old today. So happy birthday to him. See if he can deliver a hit. Those are his numbers in 31 games.
At bats have been hard for him to come by. Cameron Maben has locked down center field. Cunningham came up and started swinging the bat great.
Peterson's the everyday second baseman, so you're right. 1 ball, no strikes. And a bouncing ball right to the third baseman Turner, who is in on the grass. 2 out. I'm guessing this will be the final inning for Anderson. Their bullpen's busy too. He's due to hit first when we conclude the 7th inning stretch.
Number 8, Jace Peterson.
And here's Jace Peterson. Can't wait to talk to Vin Scully after the game about his initial impressions of Jace Peterson tonight. 2 ground outs, a single, and 2 excellent defensive plays. That's downstairs, ball 2. All the National League action now final. The Pirates just beat the Marlins 4-2. The Braves can gain ground on the Phillies and Marlins if they can hold on tonight. They lead 2-1 in the 7th inning. And Peterson will face a 2-2 count. And now it's full. Julio Teheran and Clayton Kershaw, the featured matchup of the series. That one is tomorrow night. First pitch at 10:10 Eastern Time. And Alex Wood and Zach Greinke will meet on Wednesday night. Peterson, a little pop. Shallow center. Rollins drifts out, makes the catch. Good play for Jimmy Rollins. And Anderson finishes the 7th in 1-2-3 fashion. It's Memorial Day Monday in Los Angeles and at Dodger Stadium. The fans will stand while we enjoy a beautiful rendition of God Bless America, performed tonight by Sergeant Vicky Golding of the D.C. Army National Guard, Army Sergeant Victor Hurtado, and Lisa Pratt, Operation Rising Star winner and military spouse. This trio performed the Star Spangled Banner at the start of the ball game. Did a beautiful job. So we hope as they sing, you'll pause, reflect, and remember those who've paid the ultimate sacrifice on this and all Memorial Days.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. From the mountains to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Now leave.
Dodgers 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Williams Perez, terrific job. 6 innings of one-run baseball. And now he'll give way to the Braves bullpen, which, Joe, is our T-Mobile game changer tonight.
How about the work of these guys so far since May 11th? Their ERA, best in the National League, trailing only Detroit in MLB. Third best in batting average. Look at all those numbers. They've been doing a fabulous job, and what a turnaround from the beginning of the month. That is a game changer.
Luis Avilan is on to pitch. He's got Juan Uribe pinch hitting for Los Angeles here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
How about these numbers for Luis in the month of May? No runs allowed in 8 1/3 innings.
And he's quickly ahead of one of the arch villains in Braves playoff history, Juan Uribe.
Absolutely, he is. And a good high fastball hitter.
He's quickly behind 0-2. And a blown foul.
We'll do it again. 95. How about that? Luis has his fastball back, and that's a large reason why he has not given up a run this month. He's got that good hard sinker working again. He's been around 94, 95 all month.
Tried the hook. Uribe laid off. It's 1-2. Just past 7 o'clock Pacific time. 10 o'clock back in Atlanta. Joe Simpson, Christina Fitzpatrick, Chip Carey, and the rest of our Fox Sports crew from Dodger Stadium. Braves lead 2-1 with Uribe, Peterson, and Rollins coming up. That buzzed the tower inside. 2-2. Uribe go? He did not. So from 0-2 to a full count. When the Braves roller coaster bullpen ride was at its bottoming out part. Lots of walks were a big issue. Don't want to start the inning with one here. But he just did. Got ahead 0-2 and then missed. And it's a leadoff walk to Uribe, who represents the tying run.
That'll make you put more bubble gum in your mouth if you're Roger McDowell after being ahead 0-2.
So the challenge for the Dodgers now, Jock Peterson versus a left-handed pitcher. So far, he's had his share of troubles. He's hitting .167 against them, just 4 hits in 24 at-bats and 11 strikeouts. We have Jimmy Rollins, the switch hitter, due next. Uribe a short lead, and too high, ball 1. Broken bat pop behind third. That's trouble. A walk and a bloop hit, and the Dodgers have 2 on with nobody out.
Well, we've seen a few of those for both sides tonight, but this one really hurts. It was up, splintered his bat, and strong enough to dump it out into shallow left field. The good thing is that with Johnny Gomes charging, Uribe didn't want to take a chance of getting thrown out at third, so they're still at first and second.
Remember back in the first inning, Jimmy Rollins tried to bunt Jock Peterson to third base. He bunted it into that soft dirt. Bethancourt pounced on it, threw a strike to third to get the first out of the inning. Let's see how Rollins and the Dodgers play it here. The Braves pinching at the corners. Think he'll try to bunt again with none out. He is bunting. And this one, perfect. Throw's going to go to third, low, and Siriaco dug it out somehow.
What a play. What a play. Now, keep in mind, Siriaco was charging too and had to get back and find the bag. And then stay on the bag while he scooped out a throw from the pitcher from about 40 feet away.
Number 47, Howie Kendrick.
Bethancourt was calling third all the way here. My goodness, is that a hard one to handle? And he caught it.
And I wonder if Uribe, his momentum from the slide, might have rolled right over the right leg of Pedro at third base. Somehow he held on and held the bag. And that's the first out. Now a double play gets you out of the soup.
What a night he's had, Siriaco. And he wasn't even in the starting lineup to begin with.
Here's Howie Kendrick, 2 on, 1 out. 1-run Braves game, the pitch. Strike 1. And we've got no word on Callaspo. Nothing.
Lineup change occurred about 15 minutes before game time. Callaspo was originally in the lineup. Siriaco substituted. And all Pedro's done is make that glittering play right there, go 2 for 3 and drive in the go-ahead run.
Rollins has bunted into 2 outs tonight. And now you're in the part of the Dodger lineup that really hasn't been awfully productive. Yes, Kendrick has a hit tonight, but no RBIs in his last 30 official at-bats.
Siriaco's RBI actually tied the game. It was Freddie Freeman who put the Braves on top.
Howie is tied with Adrian Gonzalez for the team lead in double plays for the Dodgers. He's hit into 6 of them. 1 ball, 1 strike. No, Avalon's gotten his share of big double plays on the mound for Atlanta.
The Braves just made a defensive shift. They had both the middle infielders kind of bird dogging the bag at second base with Peterson out there. Now they've moved Jace Peterson over toward the hole, almost like they're expecting Kendrick to be late, maybe defensively, that he's going to hit the ball to the right side. And Everton Simmons is the guy closer to holding the runner on.
Yeah, Avalon's hitting 95. You can understand that he would be a little bit late. He's got a foul ball to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He was late. And into the upper deck. It was a laser. And that pitch, the best of the night, 96. Back-to-back games for Avilan. He pitched a third of an inning yesterday and got a strikeout. He's in a mess in the home 7th.
Tried to overthrow that one, almost threw it to the backstop. It was played by Bethencourt. Count's gone full here, 3-2, but stay with the fastball. The way they're set up defensively, if you're throwing that slider down and in, that he might drop the barrel on it. There's such a huge hole between second and third. He might pull it through there.
Payoff pitch, runners hold, and the bases are loaded. So 2 walks and a single from Avilan has Adrian Gonzalez in the batter's box. And a chance for big damage.
And he was ahead in the count on both walks.
Mention the trouble that Jock Peterson has against left-handed pitching. That's not the case for this guy.
No, sir.
4 career grand slams. He's got 3 hits and 6 tries with the bases loaded this year. And against lefties, Gonzalez hitting a cool .333 with 8 RBIs. And he's only struck out 4 times in those 33 at-bats.
Well, we saw him go to left field off of Perez in the 5th inning pulled the ball to right field on a breaking ball that he kind of went out and hooked around to right field. We've also seen him go to left, though, earlier in the game. Tough to pitch to because he's got such great plate coverage.
But if you get a ground ball, he's a candidate for 2. As I said, he's got 6 double plays this year. Little dribbler. Avilan, glove, stumbles, and all he can do is apply the tag. You couldn't have placed it any better than Adrian Gonzalez. A slow roller down the first base line scores the game-tying run. Jock Peterson makes it a 2-2 game, and Gonzalez his 33rd ribby of the year.
I mean, it was so slow that it forced him to have to field it near the line where he didn't have any chance to go back to home plate with it. Of course, losing his balance took him away from the plate.
2 walks. The poison for Luis Avilan. Dodgers have tied it, and they're still up in the 7th.
AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
Adrian Gonzalez's first RBI since May 14th ties the game at 2 apiece in the 7th. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widgets, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for details.
Good outing so far for Nick Massett while with Atlanta. 3 of them, 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits, a shutout ball, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
Over the head of Turner, who ducked underneath. Nick Massett wins the frequent flyer award out of the Braves bullpen. This is his second trip to Los Angeles. Marlins already made their trip to LA to play the Dodgers. He's in game 1 with the Braves. And ground ball to short. Simmons vacuums that up. And the throw to first retires the side. The Dodgers cash in 2 walks and a single to tie the game 2 apiece. We go to the 8th. His first RBI since May 14th, went about 45 feet. And brought home John Peterson with the tying run just a few moments ago. Our AT&T Universe trivia question: over the last 10 years, he's one of 2 current National League hitters with 600 or more extra base hits. Who's the other?
I'm going to stick with Jimmy Rollins. I think it's a camo deal.
Okay, I'm going to say Ryan Howard because of all those home runs he's hit against the Braves. Let's see if either one of us is right.
Yeah, thought of him, but passed over him.
Yep. Matt Holliday, 627 extra base hits. He had an on-base streak working for the Cardinals. Like 37, 38 games in a row he was on base. I think it might be at 40 now. As you look at Adam Liberatore, came over from the Tampa Bay Rays. Maybe came along with Andrew Freeman, who's now the president of baseball operations. And Adam has pitched great ball. This is his 13th game.
1 walk, 11 strikeouts. I'd say that's a good walk to strikeout ratio.
The Braves start over in the 8th inning. They've got the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. Nathan Freeman and Nick Markakis. And a strike. Braves find themselves where you don't want to be when you play the Dodgers. Their bullpen's been outstanding. A 2.53 team ERA. It's the 4th best ERA in baseball. There's 35 earned runs and 124 in the 3rd innings pitched. Good hook, 0-2. Rick Honeycutt is the pitching coach for the Dodgers. It's his 10th season. Ties him with Roger McDowell for the 4th longest pitching coach tenure in baseball. And Dave Righetti, Don Cooper, and Darren Balsley have been in their positions longer than Roger and Rick Honeycutt. Two strikes for Maben, who walked and scored the second Braves run. He's back in the fifth. And out of play. He's done a nice job of making contact tonight. Just 3 strikeouts.
Yep. Down against Anderson. For the most part, he got the Braves to hit the ball on the ground. It's just that they found some holes and were able to parlay a couple of hits into runs in the 4th and 5th inning.
Did Maben go? Nope. Dana DeMuth with the call at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Might have gone that time. No, he didn't. Umpires in the crowd thought Maben got a break. Did he?
Let's see what happens on the next pitch.
Along with the mayor, Joe Simpson. Take pitch for Cameron Maben. Pop fly, right side. Ethier slowing near the line, and Fairground makes the catch. And there's the first out in the 8th inning. Freddie Freeman's had a good night tonight. He's got 2 hits in 3 tries, and he's our Toyota key play of the game.
Against the shift with Howie Kendrick playing out in shallow right field, Kendrick was there to get his glove on it, but didn't catch it. That base hit drove in the go-ahead run at the time, and that was in the 5th.
Freddie's got a homer and 7 RBIs against lefties this year. This would be a perfect time for a second long ball. Looked outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
After his little base hit to the left side in the 1st inning, at least it's made Turner move over from playing shortstop to at least being in the hole.
Into the shift. Kendrick squared up for that one and made the long throw to first in time. 2 out. So the fate of the Braves in the 8th rests in the hands of Nick Markakis. Nick is 0 for 3, including a double play ball that ended the Atlanta 5th. He's got a 5-game hitting streak on the line tonight. That's a strike at the knees. 0-1. Ethier, Van Slyke, and Ellis are the scheduled hitters in the Dodger 8th. Markakis bats in the top of the inning with 2 outs and nobody aboard. That's slicing away from Van Slyke, but he made the play. And it's 3 up, 3 down in the Atlanta 8th. 2-2 game in Los Angeles.
2. After dealing with a fractured wrist, Chris Johnson started a rehab assignment tonight in AAA Gwinnett with the Braves. In his first at-bat, he hit the ball pretty hard, lined out to center field. According to their Twitter handle from AAA Gwinnett, they said he was robbed of a single, but that was his only at-bat, guys. The game was called, because of rain. He did not get any more in. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. Freddie Gonzalez said that at the latest Thursday will be the return for Chris Johnson, if not sooner.
All right, Christina, thank you very much. Good report. We're going to get Chris back. We'll see if Braves can subdue the Dodgers in the 8th inning with Andre Ethier leading things off. He's walked, singled, and grounded out short. Fly ball, well hit right center field. Ethier has put the Dodgers in front.
Said earlier, this guy always seemed to have big hits against the Braves. Here's another one. They had a note up on their scoreboard earlier that his .488 slugging percentage is in the top 10 of all opponents against the Braves. And this was no cheapie.
His last home run came May 12th against Miami, a game in which Nick Massett pitched. Massett gave up 2 hits in that game, 2 strikeouts, but Ethier has homered, and the Dodgers now lead 3-2, and Atlanta is going to be staring down Kenley Jansen in the top of the 9th inning. The Dodgers have hit their 58th home run. And Scott Van Slyke pops one into the seats behind the plate. 2 balls and a strike. And we said it earlier. Puig's misfortune, Crawford's misfortune has been Ethier's good fortune, and he has made the most of it. Remember, last year they tried to trade him. He was the odd man out in this Dodger outfield. Where would the Dodgers be without him now?
6 homers, 18 RBIs, and a big one there. I think we got a glimpse, though, of what we were talking about earlier, too, with respect to the way the ball's jumping in this ballpark. Not to take anything away from Ethier. He's got good power. But you used to, between left center and right center, that was kind of no man's land. The ball didn't go anywhere, especially at night. And if it did, it just dropped over the fence between the bleachers and the fence. He hit that about 10 or 12 rows up in deep right center.
Looking back, pop. That's over by the Dodgers on deck circle, and no play for Christian. Well, remember, Giancarlo Stanton here, taking nothing away from his mammoth power. He hit a ball out of the ballpark a couple of weeks ago here. The longest home runs that Vin Scully has ever seen hit at Dodger Stadium.
Over that awning right there.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss by Scott Van Slyke. There's out number 1. Now let's check out the distance on Ethier's shot to right center.
Well up into the seats.
Thanks to our great camera crew here in Los Angeles, following the path of that ball, I'm amazed at that kind of camera work and golf camera work. How they follow that ball off the tee. Amazing. So leads by a run, 3-2. Jansen's going to get ready for the 9th inning. And he's made a huge difference.
Pretty lofty perch up there, wouldn't you say?
Man.
I asked today about Brandon Beachy, if anybody could give me an update on whether or not he was the progressing along in his recovery. You might remember the Dodgers signed him in the offseason, and I was told he's here. He is here in Los Angeles, and lo and behold, there he is.
And he's been pitching simulated games.
Yeah, completing his rehab, and he's close to going out to pitch again. 2 Tommy John surgeries later.
There's Kenley Jansen. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Ellis. That's fouled at the plate. Dodgers need a little fortification in their rotation. Hyun-Jin Ryu tore his labrum. In fact, he hurt it in the playoffs against the Braves. Hasn't been right since. And he's either had or will shortly be having season-ending shoulder surgery.
That's a big loss for them.
Full count to A.J. Ellis. Big crowd, 44,680 officially announced. Another tight game between the Braves and Dodgers. And Ellis walks. Boy, walks in the late innings have killed the Braves tonight. Avilan walked 2 men, gave up a hit, and that led to the game-tying run. Now after the homer and strikeout, McNassett walks A.J. Ellis, who's 0 for 3 and entered play hitting a .125. And this is Alex Guerrero. This young man has had himself an unbelievable start to the year. Alex Guerrero's hit 7 homers. He's knocked in 18 runs. He scored 13 runs. Named the National League Rookie of the Month, the first Dodger rookie to earn that award since Yasiel Puig in June of 2013. And here's the amazing part for Alex Guerrero. He led the National League's rookie class with 5 homers and 13 RBIs in April, despite only having 26 at-bats.
I was just going to say, he's not playing every day, but he's playing everywhere on the diamond. That's another great asset.
So between Guerrero and Turner, you can understand why Uribe's playing time has been sliced so dramatically. Guerrero, with a man aboard, has a 1-1 count. Pitch. Straighten him up inside. Guerrero is from Cuba. Dodgers signed him in 2013. This is the young man that 2014 got into a fight at AAA with his teammate Miguel Olivo.
I remember that.
Cost him 2 months. He had an ear injury. He drives this ball deep toward left. Gomes on the run, on the track, at the wall, and Guerrero has done it again. The Braves bullpen, which had been so good over the last week, has imploded in the 7th and 8th tonight.
Boy, did he sit back on that back leg and lift this ball. The
8th homer.
And the walk to the 125 hitting A.J. Ellis really hurts.
So 4 unanswered runs for the Dodgers makes it 5-2, and Jock Peterson is the batter. That'll send some of the Dodger faithful heading for the parking lots. And the Braves in a big, big hole heading to the 9th. Dodgers have hit 5 pinch hit homers this year. Justin Turner has 2. Alex Guerrero has 3.
Goodness.
LA now with 59 home runs. We told you almost half of their runs have come via the home run ball. And there's the second out. Peterson's retired after a 3-4-5 night. Braves fans, don't miss out on getting a David Justice bobblehead June 9th when the Braves take on the Padres. The first 20,000 fans at Turner Field get a bobblehead featuring David Justice. Get your tickets today. Go to Braves.com for more. Ball one for Jimmy Rollins. Rollins is 0 for 4. He's tried to bunt twice, both times unsuccessfully. He did, however, score a first inning run. Rough night for Nick Massett. He's pitched an inning so far. 2 homers and a walk. Now Rollins cracks one to deep right.
Jimmy Rollins had a rough night bunting. He didn't have a very tough time with that pitch down and in. That'll end the night for Nick Massett.
Jimmy Rollins leads all active players in hits, doubles, triples, and runs scored against the Braves. Ryan Howard leads in homers, but Jimmy Rollins has scored 2 more runs tonight, and the Dodgers have exploded with 3 eighth-inning homers to chase Nick Massett and blow this game open. It's now a 6-2 Dodger game. Dad, you're not going to want to miss this year's Father-Daughter Day, Saturday, June 6th, when the Braves take on the Pirates. Ticket packages are available and include a commemorative father-daughter t-shirt and a pregame parade. Plan a memory your daughter won't forget. Go to Braves.com/fatherdaughter. But the Braves have had a mother of a time getting out the Dodgers in inning number 8 tonight. 4 runs, 3 homers. And they got to find a way to beat up on Kenley Jansen or another Dodger reliever with only 3 outs left to play with. 6-2, LA the lead. Tomorrow night, hope for better luck. Julio Teheran and Clayton Kershaw, who's been rather ordinary, we were told.
He's been human. You know, after a spectacular MVP Cy Young Award season last year, he's 2-3 with a 4.32 ERA. He's giving up a lot of base runners, working out of the stretch a lot. Julio Teheran is coming off a good start. His last time out, his ERA continues to move in the right direction. So it should be a classic matchup tomorrow night of opening day starters and aces for each side.
And if this score holds, that game might determine the fate of the series. The Dodgers are 11-0-1 in series play on their home park this year. They are 19-6 at Dodger Stadium. So Howie Kendrick hits. Trevor Cahill becomes the 4th Braves pitcher of the night. 3 eighth-inning homers. Break open what was a 2-2 game.
Trevor had a real good run going out of the bullpen until his last outing on the 22nd 3 days ago against Milwaukee. An inning and a third, 5 hits, 3 runs.
Balls, 2 strikes for Howie Kendrick. Too big for a save for Kenley Jansen. Let's see who comes on to pitch in the 9th inning. Full count.
Chris Hatcher, the former Marlin.
If you wanted as I said earlier, microcosm of the Braves bullpen when they struggled the last 2 innings, tell you all you need to know. Walks and homers. That's a terrible combination.
It is, and this is more of a look at what we showed earlier when the team's record dipped because the team's bullpen ERA dipped. Started this inning by Andre Ethier.
Adrian Gonzalez wails away. He's down a strike. His first RBI in 11 days.
Sitting on 999 career RBIs.
By the way, that sounds dangerously like a potential trivia question. How many active players have 1,000 RBIs?
Yeah.
Adrian's been a terrific player for a long, long time. Originally a Marlin. Many forget that. Was traded for Ugeth Urbina in 2003. Urbina was a key factor in the Marlins World Series run. They needed a closer. They got a good one. Then the Marlins traded him to San Diego. Then he went to Boston, and then that big salary dump by the Red Sox. Crawford, Beckett, Punto, and Cash, Filoni, De Jesus, Webster, Ruby De La Rosa, and Jerry Sands in late August 2012.
Wait a minute. Where did he go for Urbina?
Acquired by Texas for Ugeth Urbina. Went from Texas to San Diego. And San Diego to Boston. There's Anthony Rizzo. About the other way. Who's now with the Cubs. Adrian Gonzalez, a lifetime .292 big league hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he's down swinging. A disastrous 8 for Atlanta. Dodgers hit 3 homers in the 8th inning. They had 3 homers in their previous 83 innings. They break it open and lead 6-2.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Brought to you by Zaxby's and by USAA. For those who gave everything that we may breathe free, we honor you. Good ball game until the 7th inning, and the Braves bullpen had some trouble. Avilan issued a couple of walks that led to the game tying run. 3 Dodger homers in the 8th inning, and they are streaking 6-2, trying to win their 20th home game of the year. The Braves are down to their final 3 outs. They'll face Chris Hatcher, down 4 runs.
Hatcher, a former Marlin, has had a tough time of it in his 20 outings. 5.02 ERA. Throws hard. 17 strikeouts in 14 innings.
So Johnny Gomes will lead off. And he lashes one down the left field line for a base hit. So the Braves aren't dead yet. Gomes on his way to second base. A leadoff double in the 9th. That will once again get Kenley Jansen hot in the Dodger bullpen. 2-hit night for Gomes.
Shouldn't take him too long. He was already loosening up. Hanging slider to start that outing for Hatcher. And Johnny Gomes in his first start in a while has 2 hits.
Anderson Simmons 0 for 3 tonight. Upstairs, ball 1. His bullpen over the previous 6 games has given up 4 earned runs. They've given up 5 tonight. LA 6-2, 4 runs in the 8th. Anderson showed bunt. There's that velocity Joe was talking about, pumped in at 97 miles an hour. Hatcher was part of the trade that the Dodgers made with the Marlins. Andrew Haney, Austin Barnes, and Enrique Hernandez went to L.A. for D. Gordon, Dan Herron, Miguel Rojas, and cash. The cash was the $10 million the Dodgers owed Dan Herron. Every win Dan Herron gets this year, L.A.'s paying for all of them. 2-1 count. It's 2-2.
Barnes, the young catcher, is on their roster right now also, along with Hatcher.
And Andrew Haney was flipped to the Angels for Howie Kendrick, we're told. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 6-2 LA. Braves down to their last 3 outs. Pitch. A little pop behind first. Ethier on the run, still coming. That ball's going to drop. All hands are safe. First and third for Atlanta. A blue pit for Andrelton Simmons.
Number 13, Pedro Siriaco.
That dropped right in equally between 3 guys. Breaking ball, just a flip, just a protective flip by Andrelton. I thought the guy that had the best chance was Howie Kendrick, but he was looking at Andre Ethier the whole time.
And Don Mattingly's not going to waste any more time. 2 on, nobody out. And Pedro Siriaco's the scheduled hitter, and he's had a good night. Looks like Kenley Jansen's going to get the call from the Dodger bullpen, and the Dodger crowd's going to go crazy. He's been outstanding off the DL May 15th. Kenley Jansen on to put out a 9th inning fire. The Braves alive. 2 on, nobody out.
Ram trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. And Cherry 5-Hour Energy Shots, helping support Special Operations Warrior Foundation.
Hey, the Braves have a shot in the ninth inning. 2 on, nobody out, trailing 6-2. And now it is a save situation for a man that's been outstanding. Kenley Jansen's coming back from the disabled list.
6 career games against Atlanta. He has 4 saves. He's struck out 24 in 13 innings, and there ends his success. In 13 innings, he's given up 5 home runs to the Braves, 12 earned runs, and a career .790 ERA against Atlanta.
Like that. Downstairs for Pedro Ciriaco. Jansen from Curacao. He was the catcher with Andrelton Simmons' team. Simmons used to pitch. Didi Gregorius used to play shortstop. Simmons at first, Gomes at third, Pedro Ciriaco ahead in the count. 1 ball, no strikes. Right there, Powder River, strike 1. A broken foot is what sidelined Kenley Jansen. The Dodgers missed him in the early weeks of the season. They did have some late inning bullpen problems. Those are by the boards. He's 8 for 8 in saves. 1 ball, 1 strike. A cut, but fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kershaw and Greinke are waiting in the wings to pitch for the Dodgers the next 2 nights. Don Mattingly trying for his 27th win this year for LA. Ciriaco skies 1 foul to the right side. The Dodgers are giving Simmons second base. Might as well take it. Stay out of a double play.
Right. He was going, but will have to retreat on the foul ball.
There he goes again. The pitch. Swing and miss. 1 man down. Simmons in safely at second. Christian Bethancourt will be the hitter.
Went with a high target.
Christian Bethancourt.
That fastball had some late movement on it. Running away from Ciriaco, who's had a good night.
Christian has singled, walked, and bounced out to first. Todd Cunningham's on deck. He will bat for Trevor Cahill.
Ball's really moving.
Jansen's listed 6'5", 265. He looks trimmer than that to me. You know how barrel-chested he used to look?
Yeah.
He's trimmed down a bit. 1 ball, 1 strike. Man's averaged 14 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched for his career. And one of only 4 Dodger closers with a 40-save season. Gagne, Jeff Shaw, and Todd Worrell the others. And he does that a lot. Lots of swings and misses.
Dating back to last September, 8 for 8 save opportunities. Opponents are 4 for 44 against him in that stretch.
1-2 pitch. Slide back toward the press box foul.
Again, that did not include the Braves, who have had a lot of success against him.
Kenley Jansen was born and bred as a relief pitcher. He started only 2 games in his professional career. Ground ball, third base. Turner stabs. Long throw. Catcher running. Good. Scoop by Gonzalez. A run is in. Johnny Gomes scores to make it 6-3. Simmons to third base. Bethancourt with an RBI ground out, but a terrific play at third and a marvelous scoop by Adrian Gonzalez.
I mentioned earlier that Gonzalez doesn't get enough credit for his glove work because he's such a terrific hitter. Nice play by Turner to cut that ball off. But a tough hop handled by Adrian. Nice play.
So A.J. Ellis with a scouting report on Todd Cunningham. Braves outfielders had a terrific run in his first 9 games of the year, a .370 average. Braves bench continues to do impressive work. These pinch hitters 18 for 59 this year. This is Todd Cunningham's first pinch hit try. They're going to run, get on base, and bring the tying run to the plate with Jace Peterson. That'd be nice. Strike 1 for Todd Cunningham. Little squibber towards short. Rollins gloves, grabs, flips to first. And the Dodgers have beaten the Braves 6-3 tonight. Atlanta trailed 1-0, then led 2-1 after 6. A run in the 7th and 4 in the 8th allowed by the Braves bullpen doomed the Braves in game 1.